Playing on snow globe. Player view. Federal Fever 845 was shot by controller 8AT81 block. Bolarth AT86 was shot by controller 8AT81 block. Iron Sword. Doc 68992 was slain by controller 8AT8. Wutong 8907 was shot by controller 8AT8 2 blocks. Iron Sword. Federal Fever 845 was shot by controller 8AT8 4 blocks. Federal Fever 845 was shot by controller 8AT8 9 blocks. Iron Sword. Bow. Iron Sword. Bolarth AT86 was slain by controller 8AT8. Bull AT707 was shot by controller 8AT8 6 blocks. Federal Fever 845 was shot by controller 8AT8 8 blocks. Controller 8AT8 was shot by Federal Fever 845 8 blocks. Bolarth AT86 was shot by controller 8AT8 4 blocks. Evangelos 12 was shot by controller 8AT8 1 block. Evangelos 12 was shot by controller 8AT8 10 blocks. Something Q136 was slain by controller 8AT8. Bow. Federal Fever 845 was shot by controller 8AT8 0 blocks. Wutong 8907 was shot by controller 8AT8 0 blocks. Federal Fever 845 was shot by controller 8AT8 6 blocks. Bull AT707 was slain by controller 8AT8. Wutong 8907 was shot by controller 8AT8 8 blocks. Wutong 8907 was shot by controller 8AT8 1 block. Iron Sword. Bull AT707 was shot by controller 8AT8 3 blocks. Controller 8AT8 was shot by Bull AT707 2 blocks. Federal Fever 845 was shot by controller 8AT8 18 blocks. Wutong 8907 was slain by controller 8AT8. Evangelos 12 was shot by controller 8AT8 13 blocks. Wutong 8907 was slain by controller 8AT8. Federal Fever 845 was shot by controller 8AT8 3 blocks. Iron Sword. Controller 8AT8 was slain by Federal Fever 845. Evangelos 12 was shot by controller 8AT8 6 blocks. Bull AT707 was shot by controller 8AT8 20 blocks. Something Q136 was slain by controller 8AT8. Doc 68992 was slain by controller 8AT8. Iron Sword. Wutong 8907 was slain by controller 8AT8. Bow. Doc 68992 was shot by controller 8AT8 6 blocks. Something Q136 was shot by controller 8AT8 3 blocks. Iron Sword. Bow. Wutong 8907 was shot by controller 8AT8 6 blocks. Federal Fever 845 was shot by controller 8AT8 5 blocks. Iron Sword. Bolarth AT86 was slain by controller 8AT8. Iron Sword. Controller 8AT8 was slain by Federal Fever 845. Iron Sword. Something Q136 was slain by controller 8AT8. Bow. Federal Fever 845 was shot by controller 8AT8 1 block. Doc 68992 was shot by controller 8AT8 4 blocks. Iron Sword. Doc 68992 was slain by controller 8AT8. Bow. Iron Sword. Something Q136 was slain by controller 8AT8. Bow. Iron Sword. Bull AT707 was slain by controller 8AT8. Iron Sword. Federal Fever 845 was slain by controller 8AT8. Bow. Iron Sword. Wutong 8907 was slain by controller 8AT8. Bow. Something Q136 was shot by controller 8AT8 12 blocks. Bull AT707 was slain by controller 8AT8. Bow. Congratulations, you won the game. Player view, Anoxo3363 joined the game 14/15. Empty. Voting has ended. Fanfare Theater 1 with 2 votes. You are Controller 888 was shot by Wutong 89070 blocks. Controller 888 was shot by Blazing 620 blocks. Iron Sword. Kulagai Maxi was slain by Controller 888. Bow. Kulagai Maxi was shot by Controller 888 18 blocks. Iron Sword. Bow. Bow. Black Eyes in Ho 8835 was shot by Controller 888 17 blocks. Anoxo 3363 was shot by Controller 888 1 block. Iron Sword. Teddy Dog Rodwell was slain by Controller 888. Controller 888 was shot by Samuel 27 to 14 3 blocks. Bow. Trust High Sign 2094 was shot by Controller 888 14 blocks. Blazing 6 was slain by Controller 888. Iron Bow. Iron Sword. Captain Sprout was slain by Controller 888. Anoxo 3363 was shot by Controller 888 4 blocks. Iron Sword. Controller 888 was slain by Wutong 8907. Iron Sword. Controller 888 was shot by Wutong 8907 2 blocks. Wutong 8907 was shot by Controller 888 5 blocks. Bow. Teddy Dog Rodwell was shot by Controller 888 15 blocks. Teddy Dog Rodwell was shot by Controller 888 24 blocks. Iron Sword. Teddy Dog Rodwell was slain by Controller 888. Bow. Iron Sword. Bow. Captain Sprout was shot by Controller 888 8 blocks. Captain Sprout was shot by Controller 888 8 blocks. Wutong 8907 was slain by Controller 888. Teddy Dog Rodwell was shot by Controller 888 3 blocks. Samuel 27 to 14 was slain by Controller 888. Iron Sword. Iron Sword. Bow. Iron Sword. Anoxo 3363 was slain by Controller 888. Bow. Trust High Sign 2094 was shot by Controller 888 5 blocks. Wutong 8907 was shot by Controller 888 2 blocks. Bow. Blazing 6 was slain by Controller 888. Trust High Sign 2094 was slain by Controller 888. Bow. Samuel 27 to 14 was shot by Controller 888 1 block. Trust High Sign 2094 was shot by Controller 888 1 block. Bolarth 886 was shot by Controller 888 6 blocks. Blazing 6 was slain by Controller 888. Bow. Controller 888 was slain by Trust High Sign 2094. Wutong 8907 was shot by Controller 888 8 blocks. Blazing 6 was shot by Controller 888 17 blocks. Iron Sword. Controller 888 was shot by Wutong 8907 8 blocks. Samuel 27 to 14 was slain by Controller 888. Iron Sword. Controller 888 was slain by Wutong 8907. Iron Sword. Captain Sprout was slain by Controller 888. Bow. Controller 888 was shot by Wutong 8907 8 blocks. Wutong 8907 was shot by Controller 888 10 blocks. Anoxo 3363 was shot by Controller 888 3 blocks. Teddy Dog Rodwell was slain by Controller 888. Iron Sword. Samuel 27-14 was slain by Controller 888. Controller 888 was shot by Anoxo 3363 2 blocks. Iron. Teddy Dog Rodwell was slain by Controller 888. Bow. Samuel 27-14 was shot by Controller 888 3 blocks. Iron Sword. Empty. Iron Sword. Empty. Iron Sword. Equals. Congratulate. Controller 888 has won the game. Finding next match. You are playing Oak 15 teams of 1. Teddy Dog Rodwell joined the game 6/15. Butong 8907 joined the game 7/15. Volarth 8086 joined the game 8/15. Anoxo 3363 joined the game 9/15. Captain Sprout joined the game 10/15. Gakman joined the game 11/15. You voted for Medieval. Player View. Yoshili 1313 joined the game 12/15. Arm of Below joined the game 13/15. Jetlag 2573 joined the game 10/15. YORIICHX joined the game 11/15. Player View. Voting has ended. Medieval won with 3 votes. Luke 1842-60. You are playing on Medieval. Iron Sword. Controller 888 was slain by Ninja Blocks. Iron. Controller 888 was shot by Ninja Blocks 3 blocks. Teddy Dog Rodwell was slain by Controller 888. Bow. Captain Sprout was slain by Controller 888. Bow. XKHGT was shot by Controller 888 8 blocks. Anoxo 3363 was shot by Controller 888 0 blocks. Bow. Controller 888 was shot by Teddy Dog Rodwell 0 blocks. Controller 888 was shot by Yoshili 1339 blocks. Iron Sword. Controller 888 was slain by Jetlag 2573. Butong 8907 was shot by Controller 888 6 blocks. Luke 1842-60 was shot by Controller 888 3 blocks. Teddy Dog Rodwell was shot by Controller 888 8 blocks. Volarth 8086 was shot by Controller 888 8 blocks. Ninja Blocks was shot by Controller 888 3 blocks. ITSM 35488 was shot by Controller 888 8 blocks. Butong 8907 was shot by Controller 888 14 blocks. XKHGT was shot by Controller 888 4 blocks. Controller 888 was shot by Yoshili 1313 blocks. Yoshili 1313 was shot by Controller 888 8 blocks. Teddy Dog Rodwell was shot by Controller 888 3 blocks. Jetlag 2573 was shot by Controller 888 0 blocks. ITSM 35488 was shot by Controller 888 13 blocks. XKHGT was shot by Controller 888 11 blocks. Controller 888 was slain by Jetlag 2573. Butong 8907 was slain by Controller 888. Volarth 8086 was shot by Controller 888 5 blocks. Teddy Dog Rodwell was shot by Controller 888 15 blocks. Yoshili 1313 was slain by Controller 888. Controller 888 was slain by Jetlag 2573. Volarth 8086 was shot by Controller 888 7 blocks. Ninja Blocks was shot by Controller 888 20 blocks. Controller 888 was shot by Ninja Blocks 41 blocks. Butong 8907 was slain by Controller 888. XKHGT was shot by Controller 888 2 blocks. Captain Sprout was shot by Controller 888 15 blocks. Luke 1842-60 was slain by Controller 888. Yoshili 1313 was shot by Controller 888 17 blocks. Controller 888 was shot by Ninja Blocks 29 blocks. ITSM 35488 was slain by Controller 888. Wutong 8907 was slain by Controller 888. Controller 888 was slain by Luke 1842-60. Wutong 18907 was slain by Controller 888. Luke 1842-60 was slain by Controller 888. Volarth 8086 was shot by Controller 888 5 blocks. Anoxo 3363 was shot by Controller 888 2 blocks. Controller 888 was shot by Wutong 18907 1 block. Teddy Dog Rotwell was slain by Controller 888. Bow, Iron Sword. Controller 888 was slain by Jetlag 2573. Volarth 8086 was shot by Controller 888 14 blocks. Iron Sword. Luke 1842-60 was slain by Controller 888. Ninja Blocks was slain by Controller 888. Bow. Luke 1842-60 was shot by Controller 888 14 blocks. Ninja Blocks was shot by Controller 888 11 blocks. Anoxo 3363 was shot by Controller 888 8 blocks. Iron Sword. Controller 888 was slain by Luke 1842-60. XKHGT was slain by Controller 888. Bow. XKHGT was shot by Controller 888 8 blocks. Luke 1842-60 was shot by Controller 888 8 blocks. Yoshili 1313 was shot by Controller 888 10 blocks. XKHGT was shot by Controller 888 15 blocks. Iron Sword. Congratulations, you won the game. Controller 888 has won the game. Done. Play screen tabs group wells 59, horizontal tab 1 of 3 not selected. World's fifth. My world.